Now that we've talked a little bit about what's going on with your sleep, Harry, and what's happening at the beginning of the night and during the night as well, what I'd like to do is give you guys a bit of information about what, I guess, healthy sleep looks like. Because obviously you guys have come in here and you're having troubles with your sleep, feeling tired during the day. And so we need to have a bit of an idea of, I guess, what we're trying to work towards and what we're trying to aim for, essentially. So when we're talking about sleep, sleep is made up of two different stages. So we've got light sleep and deep sleep, okay? And so light sleep is also known as something called rapid eye movement, or REM, okay? Have you ever heard of that before? No. So REM is when we dream at night, okay? So we all dream. Sometimes we remember our dreams and sometimes we don't, but we all dream during the night. And this is when we're in quite a light stage of sleep, okay? So our mind is very active because we're dreaming, but our body is very still, okay? So about 25% of the night is made up of REM sleep, okay? So then the other stage of sleep is something called deep sleep, or non-REM, so non-rapid eye movement. And this is a deeper stage of sleep. So this is a more restorative sleep. So when we've been really busy and active during the day, we've been at school, we've been using our brains, this is when our body repairs and restores itself, okay? So it's this really important part of sleep. And this accounts for a big portion of sleep, so about 75% of the night. And so what happens is throughout the night, so you said you go to sleep about 8:30, and wake up about 7 o'clock in the morning, we cycle through these different stages of sleep throughout the night, okay? So I've got this diagram here that I thought I'd show you guys. And so you can see here, this is a, I guess, visual idea of what's happening with your sleep. So at the beginning of the night, around 8:30, you're awake here. And so then you slowly start to fall asleep and you go through one sleep cycle, okay? So we have light sleep and deep sleep, okay? But what happens is when you come back into this light stage of sleep, we all become more aware of our surroundings. So if we think about us as adults, if we go to bed and it's a bit warmer, we might not have the covers on us. When we come back into this lighter stage of sleep, we might notice that we're a bit cold or our pillow's shifting. We sort of readjust and then we go back off to sleep. But what's obviously happening for Harry at the moment is when he comes back into this lighter stage of sleep, he's becoming very aware of his surroundings, because what was there at the beginning of the night, which is either yourself or your husband being there when Harry falls asleep, isn't there when he wakes up. Yeah. And so he obviously calls out, or he comes into bed and hops into bed with you guys. And so you said it happens about 3 or 4 times a night, and that's about right, because it happens probably each time he's coming out of that deeper sleep and into that lighter sleep. He's more aware of his surroundings.
Makes sense, right?
Does that kind of make sense to you, Harry?
Yes.
Yeah, and so what we need to do is we need to try and help you get more consolidated sleep throughout the night. For primary school age children, we're typically aiming for about 10 to 11 hours of sleep throughout the night, okay? So, you know, it's obviously not what you're getting at the moment. The time frame is about right, because if you think about his falling asleep around that sort of 8:30 mark and waking up about 7:30. So it's roughly a good amount of total time, but because Harry's waking up in the middle of the night, it's broken. Okay, so that's why you're tired during the day, because you're not getting good consolidated sleep throughout the night. Okay, and so what we want to do is, with these strategies we're going to talk about today, when you come into this lighter stage of sleep, hopefully once we start implementing these strategies, then you can fall back off to sleep yourself and not need mum or dad there to be able to help you get back off to sleep. Does that sound okay? Yeah.